Hey guys, is everybody here for science today? If you're here, go to the chat box and just say hi or give a little comment. So Lisa can hear me, Aaron can hear me, Gina can hear me. I think everybody's here. All right, so you're going to need to go onto your Nearpod today. All right, your course code is WZYNP. And when you're on the Nearpod, you're going to see on the side there that it says the nature of science. Okay, we're going to work through the Nearpod as we're going through our Zoom meeting today as well. Okay, so first thing I want to ask you, what is science? What is science? What does that mean? Or what? Give me an idea of something that relates to science.
Nature.
Nature, that's good.
Space.
Space, good job, Aaron. Lisa, do you have any idea? Lisa, can you hear me? All right, we'll come back to you later. All right, so when you're on your Nearpod, you're going to see that there is a virtual field trip. If you click around your screen or if you move your iPad around, you'll actually feel like you are in the middle of a forest. Okay? As you're looking around, I just want you to listen to this quick little story that I tell you. All right, and just imagine yourself like you're actually there. So, our class went on a field trip to a forest, and as we're walking down the path, you will see that there are leaves everywhere. And as you're walking, you can feel the pebbles beneath your feet, the leaves crunching beneath your feet, and you might even feel the side there where there's the like mossy area that might feel a little moist. If you look ahead, you see a waterfall and you hear crashing water hitting the pond. So you might be asking yourself some questions as you're there. So a question that I have for you is, who is the scientist? And you can respond in the chat box or you can respond verbally. Who is the scientist? Gina?
I think I'm the scientist because I'm the one seeing everything.
Yeah, we're all the scientists. We're the people that are walking through there, and we're the ones that are making the observations. So the next slide that I'm taking you to is you're going to respond to a collaboration board. Okay, now I'm going to accept that I'm not looking at your comments before you post them, so make sure that you are checking over your spelling and making sure that they're appropriate before you post them. Okay, but the question you need to ask is, what do you think these student scientists might ask about the environment? So as you're on your virtual field trip, what are some questions you may have asked? What are some questions you may have asked about the space? Lisa, nice job saying that you were the scientist. Thank you. How tall is the waterfall? Good job. And remember, after you post, only hit a heart if you agree with the question that somebody asked. How did the plants grow? Good job. I like the sound of the typing that I hear in the background. If you have more than one question, feel free to comment multiple. Oops. I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked. Okay. Lisa, do you have a question for the field trip? Or do you need help with the Nearpod at all? I don't know if Lisa can hear me. She's clicked yes, so I don't know. Okay. All right, so yeah, you could pretty much ask anything about the environment. Okay, how tall is the waterfall? Where or how do the plants grow? Where do the plants come from? How's the moss growing on the side of the rocks there? Okay, why are the leaves changing different colors? Good job. All right, the next thing we're going to look at for our unit is our learning goals. Okay, now we're just doing our introductory lesson today, but our learning goals for the whole unit are listed here. So the first learning goal is students will ask scientists questions and will analyze how scientists find answers to their questions. So in summary, what do we think that means? What does that mean? If we're going to ask questions and analyze how scientists find answers to their questions, what does that mean? Do I have any volunteers? Gina?
We're gonna ask why scientists do things that they do, and then we're gonna do some research to see why they do it.
Correct. We're going to use some different experiments and we're going to do some different tasks and really dive into some science-based text, and we're going to ask a lot of questions. Okay, we're going to analyze things. We're going to break things down. Okay, but that's what scientists do. They ask questions. In our second lesson for the unit, we're going to use tools and we'll be able to communicate how to properly and safely use those tools. Okay, so we'll really break down actually using the tools this year and learning about the different science tools and how they're used and how we can use them safely. Aaron, do you mind reading the third learning goal for us?
Students will describe and compare different scientific methods that scientists use to answer questions.
Has anybody heard of this scientific method? You can just respond with your hand as a yes or no in the chat box. Aaron has. Gina has not heard of the scientific method. Well, that's great because you're going to learn about it this year. And we use the scientific method for all of our experiments that we're going to do. Okay, and then the fourth learning goal, Gina, do you mind reading that for us?
Students analyze, interpret, and present data in order to show how scientists share information and conclusions with other scientists.
So before we move on, do you think scientists need to share their findings with each other, or do you think it's beneficial for them just to kind of keep it away from everybody? Gina said they should share. Why do you think they should share, Gina?
I think because they could learn from each other just like we learn together when we share our thoughts.
Right, they need to learn from each other. They need to build off of each other's findings, and it confirms if they're right or not. Okay, good. So, the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to really look at the vocabulary, okay? So this is our vocabulary, and on your screen, you guys should have access to changing through the different words. I should just have control of the screen that you're on, but you should be able to swipe through, so you're just going to have to follow along with me. But this is our vocabulary for the whole unit, and this vocabulary is going to have actually help guide us on what we're doing for the course of the school year. Okay, because as we move on through actual different topics in science, we'll talk about some environmental friendly stuff, we'll talk about some force and motion, but through all the experiments, we're going to actually keep referring back to this vocabulary. So the first word, you should be on the second slide, and it's scientific methods. So what's the definition of scientific methods, Aaron?
Organized ways to answer questions and solve problems.
As scientists, we need to be organized, right?
Right.
Yes.
So if we're organizing ways to solve problems, we're using the scientific method. We're going through the steps to make sure we're not skipping over anything. Okay? Next is going to be inquiry. Okay, go ahead and read that definition for us, Gina.
The process of asking questions and searching for answers.
So we're going to be asking questions and we're going to be searching for answers. Okay, scientists are always asking questions. Okay, and with asking questions, you're going to find answers. Looking at the third vocabulary word, it is hypothesis. Lisa, can you read that for us?
Hypothesis, a possible answer to questions.
So at the beginning of our experiments, we're always going to make a hypothesis. We're going to say what we think. Now, is our hypothesis always going to be correct?
No.
No. Okay? And more often than not, it's not. We're going to be incorrect. Okay? It's okay to make mistakes in science. That's why we do a lot of different tests and everything. Okay, but I'm looking at the time right now, and we actually need to move on to our next topic. So I'm going to have to wrap up the lesson. We're going to have to pick up with the rest of our vocabulary tomorrow. Okay, so be prepared to share out about the vocabulary tomorrow, and then we're going to make a literacy connection to science tomorrow as well. All right, so I hope you all have a good evening. Good job today at school. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.